Hi all, I just wanted to give you a quick message today. I want you to find some time today to create something. So rather than listen to whatever it is that we heard at some point in our lives, usually fairly young, that creating is not worth doing unless you're being compensated for it, or there's an end goal, a result, or there's some sort of uh, reciprocating, like you're going to get something back for it. And unfortunately, that can get stuck in us, and then we just don't do anything for fun anymore. Like, we don't do what we used to do, like create imaginary friends and scenarios, take a walk outside, and create your own magical kingdom. Um, we're not playing instruments for fun so much, or drawing or writing down things just to write things out of our head. It's become replaced with computers and television shows and um, constant habitual thinking. So when you feel that urge to go on, let's say, Facebook or Instagram, or you want to turn on that computer video game, uh, ask yourself if you could take some time instead to maybe just draw a picture. I'll tell you what got me restarted on spontaneous creativity was, the adult coloring books that are coming out, and somebody got me a couple for my birthday or Christmas a couple years ago, and I finally started taking them out at the end of um, last year and beginning of this year, and I was having fun, and I was coloring, and I even got some new colored pencils to have more options and to have a little bit better quality pencils to work with that wouldn't break in the sharpener. Anyway, one night I just got really sick and tired of coloring in somebody else's picture, and I just turned my paper around and started drawing a tree. It's one of the few things I can draw well. And from that point on, I the next day I started writing lyrics, the words that were popping into my head, and then I thought to myself, I really want to start making music again. I want to get my keyboard back, and instead of a keyboard, I got a MIDI. Same difference, just very different. And I started getting over my fear of hearing my own voice when I sang, and it took 40 years to do that. But hey, so don't say, oh, I'm too old to create, I'm too old to start doing this, or I'm too old to go back to doing that thing I used to do that was so fun. Um, Trade your social media time for some doodling, or for some writing down uh, combinations of words that may or may not become anything. Remember, we're creating every day. We just tend to create for a purpose. So when you make a grocery list, it's a creation. When you make a plan for the day and you create a schedule, same thing. If you're at work, you're generally creating processes and lists of things to do, and ways to communicate with coworkers and customers and such. So you're always creating, but to create without expecting a return, or to need approval for it, or to be told, or to even to think yourself that you're good at it, is a really freeing process, and it keeps you mentally present in what you're doing. So you don't have the time to go back into your recent or distant past and start reliving shitty things that you can't change, and you don't have time to create scenarios in the future that may or may not happen, and make all these awful, terrible outcomes of situations that you're going to be facing in the next day, week, month, year, whatever. Being fully immersed in what you are doing creates this presence where your mind doesn't have to work. It doesn't create all of these emotions about things that aren't even real anymore because they already happened or they're not going to happen. And when you do that, you come out of it with a whole different perspective. And so then, if you do spend 10, 20, 100 minutes just writing, doodling, making a meal, or playing with one of your children, or anything like that, you come out of it, and then you get onto social media after a bit of that, and things might affect you a little less, or you might be able to take in the world around you with a little bit less reactivity because you spent so much time being focused on yourself, what you were doing, and what creativity you were channeling. And I think that's often as good as, maybe not as effective as, meditation to a degree. And I really wish that we would get back into it and that we wouldn't consciously or subversively uh, advise kids out of that process. Let them keep having that spontaneous creativity. And and if we weren't able to do that ourselves, to start making time for it in our day, for sure. So that's my wish and advice for you.